Hi everyone, it's J. Whitney Art, or Jessica. You're more than welcome to call me. And I am back from my little break. I took day 5 off because I didn't get a lot of sleep the night before. I stayed up really late working on some painting, so I decided to skip it and just kind of relax. I actually, the video I posted before this one, I found a little seating area at the Savannah River in South Carolina earlier. So I just kind of took it easy, hung out with my family, just kind of chilled instead of stressing over getting, another painting done. If I'm being honest, the thing that I'm struggling with Inktober in general, I had this issue last year as well. Some of the prompts I don't care about. I don't care for. I'm not really. I know some artists are like making stories out of their prompts and, the illustrations that they're coming up with. I'm kind of not, and I'm not even saying that that's a bad thing. I'm kind of being quite literal. The point of this is to complete, the challenge. Complete the challenge and work on some of my traditional art making skills. So I'm doing that without having to create entire worlds around 31 different prompts. Not only just the 31, I'm doing, Inktober, I'm doing Peachtober, kind of doing Peachtober. And one of my Instagram friends, Drawloween challenge. I think I've done prompts in the past that have been a little bit more exciting. Inktober feels like it's just pulling words out of a hat, honestly. And I don't mean to sound any way when I, make that observation, but the words are really arbitrary. Like, what on earth does bouquet specifically have to do with the season, I went pretty literal with this one. I just drew a bouquet of, it's kind of like a hybrid rose chrysanthemum type of flower. I just kind of doodled it in my my sketchbook really quickly. And I don't care for flowers. Not really as a gift. Definitely not from an illustrative perspective. I don't care for flowers in any way, shape, or form. I've seen some people make really great, watercolor flower paintings, but I'm not that artist. I like to do people. I like to draw people. I don't love drawing animals. That's the other area I'm kind of struggling with, is, drawing animals. It's just not something that artistically I care about so much, and it kind of makes me think, like, am I too old for Inktober? I have like this old person's, low level of patience. I am already a mom. The nonsense, I'm kind of not here for it. But like yesterday, I was like, I'm not doing this. So I didn't, and I think it's important to not make yourself feel pressured into doing something that you don't want to do. There are no stakes to doing Inktober. I can't think of a reason why we would give ourselves so much pressure for something that is not a requirement. You could live your whole life and never do Inktober. I didn't know Inktober was a thing until 2020. So if it were going to be a life or death situation, a lot of us would no longer be here, but it's not. What's life or death? Eating, sleeping, making sure that your family is taken care of, providing for, whoever you're a caregiver for, going to school. Those things are life and death. They're very costly if you decide to forego them. So if you're going to not do something, do the thing that has the lowest stakes. I enjoy the challenge of doing these illustrations with coming up with something at all. Even if there's no story behind it, it is still a challenge to come up with some kind of concept of whatever the prompt is asking of you. But no one is going to lose life or limb if you decide that you don't have it in you to either come up with a solution for the prompt or to just do it at all that day. And I wish we'd hear a little bit of that a little more, because it can be really overwhelming to feel obligated to complete, these challenges that we kind of give ourselves too much stress over it, and I don't mean to be a downer. I would never. I just think that we need to talk about it. When you don't feel like doing something trivial like Inktober, then don't do it. Skip a day, skip 2 days, skip the challenge. I didn't do it last year and I was feeling kind of bad about it, but I had to think about it. I was injured and I didn't have it in me to actually do it. So I decided not to. But then I spent like 330 days being kind of angry at myself about it, and it wasn't that big of a deal in any way, shape, or form. So that's just me giving my little bit of parental advice. If you don't feel like doing it, don't do it. Just don't do it. Watch a movie instead. I watched that show Reasonable Doubt on Hulu. Oh my God, it's so good. I put on Facebook yesterday that it just has a chokehold on my life. Oh, I just want her and her husband to get it together. And I don't know if I think that guy is innocent or not. Anyways, let me know in the comments. Are you guys watching that show? It's new. There's only 3 episodes, but it's got some really memorable faces. Michael Ealy is always a good time. I cannot think of that man. Is it Sean Patrick Thomas? He was in Save the Last Dance, and he was in Barbershop. Oh, Michael, they were both Barbershop. Okay, cool. Anyways, the lead actress, I should have looked up this woman's name because I don't know her name. I don't think I've ever known her name, but I love her character. I love a lot of the moving pieces. That's my recommendation. If you haven't watched the show, check it out. It's not for kids, so if you're under the age of 18, then I'm not suggesting it to you. I'm suggesting it to anyone who is grown and listening to this voiceover. Okay, so let's talk about, all of that. If you don't feel like doing it, don't do it. Anyways, so to the painting, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't love this one. So far, this would probably be my least favorite. I think the mistake that I made here is making it so big. This could have been just like I did for Scallop. I could have made like small things to kind of illustrate this one. I was thinking about going back and doing the one that I skipped, Flame. I wasn't. The only thing I could think about with that one was like making s'mores, but I didn't want to paint graham crackers and chocolate and marshmallows. So and that was another reason why I skipped yesterday. It wasn't one of the ones I was excited about. You can see I showed the sketch that I have in the beginning. I didn't care for it. I wasn't attached to it in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, I kind of have the same feelings about Scallop, but I was excited that I came up with other suggestions. My sister, she said that I should have done the bouquet of, I guess, beheaded roses that Morticia Addams had in The Addams Family. I can't remember which one it was, but I was like, yeah, that would have been a great idea if I had thought about it before. We had this conversation as I'm finishing this piece, so I wasn't going to do it over. She should have talked to me earlier. It's her fault. I blame her. She could have given me more earlier at some point. Just kidding. It's actually her birthday today, so if you care about me at all, say happy birthday, big sister, in the comments. I won't tell you how old she is. Just know that she's wise. And she's like my immediate older sister. She is 1 year, 2 months, 2 days, an hour and a minute older than me, literally. Anyway, she had a great idea. I couldn't use it because I was pretty much done. I think she came and started talking to me like I was further along than I am right now when she came in and started talking to me. So I was like, where were you at yesterday? I actually did this sketch probably about a month ago at this point. I started working on the sketches the beginning of September when the prompt list started coming out, because I wanted to at least have, if I was going to be at all prepared, I wanted it to be that I had already come up with like sketches. That was the least I could do. So we are just inking. I think where I kind of lose this illustration is at the lining portion, because every illustrations that I've ever made flowers in, I wasn't close enough to the flowers to have to put in so much detail. And you'll see that I kind of struggle with the idea of using like hashing. I keep saying hashing, like hash browns. I don't think that's what it's. Is it hatching? Well, no, because like hashtags. I don't actually know that term. But where you create, depth by using like line work for shadows. But I kind of do it. Some of the petals kind of just get swirly bits. I am darkening like center areas, but it was a lot of flowers and I didn't care about any of them. I think they look kind of like at the bottom. I think that's my favorite part of this illustration. If I was to like any of it, it would probably just be the front lower portion. I just think that the flower, it's probably because I started there. I gave them a little bit more care than I did the entire illustration. So you can see I'm just going through, filling in, areas, trying to make it look like it's an actual bouquet. Like I said, there was no motivation for this one. I just decided to draw just a bouquet of flowers. It kind of in the same, I guess, formation as like bridal flowers. How it has the bottom stems are, I don't know how, positioned in a way that they can be held very easily. There's this lady on TikTok. I wish I knew her name. I would share it. She makes beautiful wedding bouquets. I think if you Google it, or not Google it, but if you search in the TikTok search, you'd probably find it. Yes, so we are finishing adding, a little bit more detail. My heart is not in this. I did not do this with goodness. I don't love it. Oh, but I am using, I thought to add a little bit of pizzazz, I would use my glass dip pen instead of the regular one with the metal nib, because I put too many books on my adjustable desk and it like completely flipped everything off of the desk. But I had like a podium on my desk that had my skull, a container of pens that had my glass dip pens in it, and I was like freaking out that it was broken. And since it wasn't, I decided to use it. I think I did chip the tip of it, so I had to keep kind of rotating it because the ink wasn't flowing very well on the side that had chipped, but it still worked. It still works, as you can see here. So we are just about done. Was I too negative in this one? I really love making art, I promise. It's my favorite thing to do. I am actually enjoying this challenge more than I thought I was going to. Just working with ink is new for me. Being able to paint is just not something that I've been doing lately, especially watercoloring. It's kind of the paint medium that I'm most comfortable with. It's easiest, I think. It's a little bit easier to control. It does take some patience, but it's my favorite. And, you know, using a paintbrush and ink is pretty much the same. So we are almost done. I think I use a little bit of my white Posca pen to fix some, I dropped ink at some point, or it was on my finger right there. But I'm just going to use a Posca pen to kind of cover that up. And then this piece is all done. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for making it to the end of this video. I super appreciate you being here. Please, if you're not doing anything else, head to the comments. Let me know what you think. Leave a like. Subscribe. Subscribe. Have you not already subscribed? You should subscribe. I think we have a pretty good time here. A little bit of expertise in the art world. I feel like we have a pretty good time. Oh, I forgot that I used the white for, okay, so I added some white to make it look like there was highlighting. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Share it with a friend. Share it with your family. Share it with a pet. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.